do hereby proclaim the independence of Bangladesh.
Born out of the war between India and Pakistan 10 years ago, conflict has been a way of life in this country's short history. A nation of nearly 90 million people, Bangladesh was created by the splitting of the two wings of Pakistan. The Bengalis in the east had long nursed grievances against the ruling Punjabis 2,000 miles to the west. The military victory by India finally severed them from a country with which they had few ethnic or cultural links. The young nation's founding father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had long battled for the independence of Bangladesh. As head of the Awami League, his sweeping victory in the elections in 1971 led to calls for autonomy for the eastern state and sparked the conflict between India and Pakistan. But his hold on power was short-lived. He and his family were murdered in an army coup in 1975. During the turmoil that followed, General Zia came to power, promoting himself to the presidency 2 years later. Experimenting with several forms of government, he held presidential elections in 1978, gaining an overwhelming 4-1 victory. The following year, his popularity and dominance were confirmed in general elections in which his Bangladesh Nationalist Party won 2/3 of the seats in Parliament. He governed the country with an iron hand, establishing a virtual dictatorship. But he made several attempts at genuine economic developments in what is possibly the most impoverished country in the world. His assassination over the weekend has left a vacuum that may not be easily filled, and it remains to be seen how long his legacy of stability will last in the undoubted turmoil that lies ahead.
সশ্রদ্ধ চিত্তে শপথ করিতেছি যে আমি আইন অনুযায়ী বাংলাদেশের রাষ্ট্রপতি পদের পালন করিব অনুযায়ী আইন অনুযায়ী।
He has also said that he is bringing in a civilian president with a civilian advisory council, and he hopes to restore the due process of constitution as early as possible. Now, I personally believe him because I know the man. Let me make a few personal comments here. Both General Ishad and I were commissioned together into the army nearly 30 years ago, and I have known the man. And he's a constitutionalist. From the point of view of political beliefs, he's a centrist, a liberal, very much a moderate. He's a very sober person, God-believing. And I have no doubt that whatever he and his colleagues do,
the murder of the president and the seizing of the radio station were isolated acts by a relatively small group of disgruntled officers. Circuit House, where the assassination occurred, draws the mildly curious. President Zia Rahman was asleep upstairs when 2 jeeps burst into the grounds. The damage testifies to a short battle with the attackers using rockets and automatic weapons. The president came out to investigate the commotion and was shot while standing in the doorway. It is in the villages which President Zia so eagerly courted that he'll be missed. The national flag flutters at half-mast from the most modest of buildings. He had exhorted them to support self-help programs like building irrigation canals. For the first time this year, the country recorded a grain surplus. But Bangladesh is still a country in intensive care. Its undernourished people are some of the poorest. Its population growth is out of control.
Throughout the morning, what seemed like a never-ending line of mourners paid their respects at the coffin of Ziaur Rahman, Bangladesh's first popularly elected president. There was heavy military security. As noon approached, the coffin was taken through the streets for burial. All offices were shut and it seemed as though the entire population of the Dhaka area had come to pray and give tribute. En route, there was a pause for a Muslim ceremony. Then the procession made its way towards the grave site, hastily prepared near the new unfinished parliament building which President Ziaur Rahman had hoped to inaugurate. And as Bangladesh gathered to bury its president, there was official confirmation that the man responsible for his death, Major General Manzoor, who led the brief Chittagong attempt at the coup d'etat, was also dead. The government television station said he had been captured last night at a village, but was killed by angry troops while being taken to Chittagong. President Ziaur Rahman's death has caused an immense sadness in this country, which has seen no less than 8 attempted or successful coups d'etats in its 9 years of existence. Under Ziaur Rahman, the political situation seemed to have settled down, and Bangladesh was making immense progress. He had made a point of giving new hope not just to the relatively prosperous towns, but to the countryside as well.